barely eked out a win there, carrying the state by just 0.4%. So can he do it again? That's the big question this year. Well, even the president's top aides say it won't be easy. Joining me now to talk about the battle ahead, communications director for the North Carolina Democratic Party, Walton Robinson. Good morning to you, Walton. Thanks for being here. Most experts agree Obama's win in North Carolina in 2008 was threefold. He mobilized the base, specifically the African-American vote. He won the youth vote by a big margin. He ran on the bad economy at the time. So how exactly is he going to win it this year? Certainly a much tougher political landscape.
Well, I'll tell you, after watching the Republican convention earlier this week, we're feeling a lot better about our chances. But the reality is that President Obama's campaign after 2008 didn't just pull up stakes and leave. They've been here, they've been building infrastructure, they've been registering voters, signing up people to knock on doors, doing the infrastructure building that it takes to win the ground game here. And so when we get to the point, which we're almost at, where we're saturated with ads and people start to tune them out, that investment early on is going to help at the margins to turn out people in President Obama's favor. So we're feeling good, and we're happy to have the convention in Charlotte because that's going to be a great organizing tool for us as well.
So take a look at a couple of polls with me, if you will. The first one shows Obama still winning big with the youth voters. The latest CNN ORC poll indicates 58% of 18 to 34-year-olds prefer Obama over Romney. You see it there. But look at the second poll of those young voters. Just 58% are likely to vote this year, as opposed to nearly 80% in 2008. Does that concern you? And what are Democrats doing there in North Carolina to energize the young voters this year?
Well, we're not seeing any of that sort of lack of enthusiasm here in North Carolina. We have a delegation that has 10 times the number of young delegates than we had from 2008. So our young people are engaged here. We have had a tremendous amount of success training young people, getting them involved in the process, and the convention is one of the major things that's helped us do that here. So I'm not concerned. We're confident here in North Carolina. We're seeing a lot of positive things out of the young people. And they really have benefited from some of the things that President Obama has done since he's been president. For example, 95,000 North Carolinians who are under the age of 26 now get to stay on their parents' health care plan. So people and young people in North Carolina are seeing the benefits and the results of having a President Obama in the White House. So I think that overall, we are very confident that the young vote is going to turn out and turn out strong.
Let me show you another poll from CNN ORC here on the crucial issue of the economy. Romney just edging out Obama on who can better handle the economy. You see it there, 50 to 46%. How do the Democrats convince voters next week that the president is better for the economy and get those numbers up?
Well, I think that after watching the Republican convention, the choice is going to be clear after we hear President Obama speak. What we're looking at here are two very, very different visions for the economy. One based on a top-down, trickle-down approach from Mitt Romney. You know, the old, stale Bush-era policies of the past are what the Romney-Ryan ticket is advocating for. On the other side, we have President Obama, who believes in investing in the middle class, building a strong middle class, and using that as the leverage to build an economy that works and that lasts. So I think that after seeing the two conventions, voters will have a very clear choice between the economic visions for the future of the country, and I think President Obama's is the one that will resonate with people come fall.
For the very first time in history, the National Democratic Party platform this year will endorse same-sex marriage. Now, considering that North Carolina voted overwhelmingly this year to ban same-sex marriage in the state's constitution, 61 to 39% via the so-called Amendment 1, will that platform plank, do you think, hurt Obama there?
I don't think it will. The platform is a political document, not a policy document. You know, in the Democratic Party, it's not a cardinal sin to disagree. There are some overarching things that are going to drive voters to the polls in North Carolina, and they're not social issues. They're economic issues, they're health care issues, they're education issues. So I don't think that Amendment 1 or the plank in the party platform will really have any kind of substantive effect on the turnout this fall.
North Carolina, home to 8 military bases, Fort Bragg being largest. Given the strong military installation in the state, what impact might Obama's record on national security and veterans issues play on voters there? Should the Democrats be focusing on his foreign policy chops more, do you think?
I think so. You know, there's over 770,000 veterans in the state of North Carolina. We are a state that has a lot of military voters. And so the president's accomplishments and his focus on veterans and veterans issues, expanding preventative health care for them, expanding mental health services for our veterans, making sure that we give them the opportunity that they deserve to get back to work once they come home. I think the president has a strong record on national security, and that is a big asset in North Carolina.
You said you were excited to have the convention there, but not everyone is pleased with the DNC's choice of Charlotte this year for the convention. Let me read you a quote from a Reuters piece that got a whole lot of attention this week. It says, quote, Democratic insiders see less enthusiasm on the part of the party faithful. Fewer politicians will be making the trip to a second-tier host city with few cultural attractions. Now, I know you're excited, but what is your response to that? I mean, is Charlotte a second-tier host city?
Well, I think some of the folks who may be saying that haven't had an opportunity to come to Charlotte and see what we've got to offer. This is a great city for music. We've got great restaurants. We've got some beautiful museums. This is a great sports town. You know, we've got football and basketball teams here. Charlotte's a wonderful city, and I think when all is said and done, people get here, they come, they experience what we have to offer. They're going to be pleased, and this is going to be a historic convention that everyone's going to remember fondly.
Walton Robinson, you are a great ambassador for the president and for North Carolina. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
That is the Carolina story. Coming up, we'll check out the story from another swing state, Ohio. The current governor spoke for the Republicans while the former governor is in the Obama camp. He'll join us in our 10 o'clock hour with more on the Democrats' plan for next week and in November as well. It is a case that has inflamed